Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into more important issues. It's Thursday. I'll fix that. We used to do Wednesdays. If you're new, it used to be Wednesdays. It is Thursday, November 18th. Welcome in. I'm wrong. It's normal. If you listen to us enough, you know that to be true. But welcome into more important issues. It's a good day to be here. We are talking some Tennessee. We're in a weird spot. I was talking to someone who's more of a basketball fan. They're like, I love this time of the year. It's just getting started. I know you hate it with like football winding down. Well, this week, like these last 2 weeks kind of suck in college football because it's normally you're playing the you only have a few like conference games. I think it's last week is when most people play their out of conference games, right? Tennessee got lucky with that. But then like these last 2 weeks are the rivalry games. The Thanksgiving one's awesome. Love this time of year for college football. But yeah, so I don't hate it. And I mean, I've always been a college basketball fan, but even more so since Tennessee's been good. So, like, I'm good with it. I'm not complaining. I'm excited basketball's here. Excited college basketball's here. I haven't watched enough of it. Couple good games on this week, but I haven't watched as much as I'd like to. So this weekend, though, is going to be a good time to do it. Some of these tournaments kicking off. Thanksgiving weekend's always a good time, too. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, that Vanderbilt game last night was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I did see some good games on. I watched the Buffalo Northern Illinois game.
Well, if you blinked, you might not have seen them score at all.
Was it bad for them?
They scored 37 total points.
That is awesome. Men's basketball?
Yep.
Love it. That's amazing.
And they lost to VCU.
Love it. Count me in. This is why we love college basketball.
Absolutely. Thursday, there it is.
Thursday, got it fixed. No problem. That was quick too. I know. It may look easier, but it's a little bit more difficult than it.
You could have convinced me it was Wednesday because flying in this morning, I had no clue what day it was.
Took the red eye.
I know. Yeah, I was up for 26 hours.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you mean? That's the best. That is the best. What's up, Richard? Good to have you in. We're talking, of course, some South Alabama talk. Tennessee's third time, I believe we have officially solidified, third time playing a starting quarterback on a different team. We will talk about the South Alabama game. No, it's not a lot to talk about, so not too much. Just talk some football. Who we want to see some more of, some young guys. Hopefully, this should be a blowout. I mean, that's the bottom line. Tennessee's got to go out and execute. You kind of showed that you can, play with the big dogs for at least a little bit. You have it in you somewhere. Now it's time to go out and kind of take care of business. Show your recruits that you're going to beat who you're supposed to be. And once we get, hopefully, I mean, we talked about it last week. Hopefully, when you get more talent in here, all you can sell is a vision. You haven't done it yet. So go do what you're supposed to do and let the rest, get the guys in here and let the rest take care of itself. Like I said, we will talk basketball. Tennessee kicks off the real season. I know they played 2 games, UT Martin and ETSU, but this is the real deal starting this weekend. 2 tough matchups, regardless win or lose on Saturday. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. College football picks. I've not done great gambling the back half of the season. It's been a difficult year.
It has been pretty tough. Those lines are sharp. So
last year felt easy. They drew you in. They did a good job of drawing you in.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like, you can't do it. Like, sometimes you get lucky and get a good line at the beginning when they first come out, but then you can also get screwed that way too. So it's hard to try to get any kind of advantage in college football this season.
Yep, absolutely. And then we'll drop in some questions. We'll get to our segments. I've got a stupidity that I laughed at for way too long. Way too long. I can't wait to share it. I hope everybody saw it. It's one of those that I'm kind of embarrassed how long I'm still laughing at it. And I saw it on like Tuesday. So I'm excited to share that. Let's start with some South Alabama talk, though. This Tennessee coming off of a tough loss. It was the number one team in the country. You went ahead. You were ahead 7 at one point, ahead 3 early on, and just wasn't enough. But you do look to bounce back this week. That's in the past. You were looking to just take care of business. This is a game that you get to go out, hopefully have your way with the other team. And I mean, that's the bottom line. You've got us on here talking about who we want to see more of. You should get the young guys in. I know there's not a super deep roster of just 7. I mean, you're down to what, 75 guys now, 75 scholarship players. So it's not super deep, but all of them, everybody should be playing. Should be a good day of getting maybe some guys that have been banged up kind of back into the mix of things. Hopefully they shouldn't see a ton of minutes, but hopefully see some time and get kind of eased in. I know Vanderbilt should be an easy win too, but it is a conference matchup and can be a big – these next 2 games both are big in where you land in bowl season. You want to be in a good bowl game. Someone mentioned traveling. You want to – like those games in Charlotte and Nashville are fun, but it doesn't feel like the trip that some of these guys want to take. So get to a good bowl game. That's what these 2 weeks are about. I'd love to be in Florida. Someone said, I know you guys would love to be in Florida. It's not going to happen. I can dream. Let me dream.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's where you finish, I guess, but it's also like Tennessee has an appealing fan base. So it's whatever, if a Florida bowl wants to bid on us, they can do that.
Was it Jeremy Pruitt's year that there was a big conspiracy that Kentucky got ousted out of Jacksonville?
Yeah, sure.
Was that year? See, Tennessee has that power. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We got a first question that we'll talk about before we get into South Alabama. Do you think Coach Heupel will be SEC Coach of the Year? Unless Georgia has a letdown the last couple of weeks, I don't know how you don't go Kirby Smart.
Yeah, it's got to be Kirby Smart.
Unfortunately. And it would have probably – I think my front runner, I think most people's front runner would have been
Mark Stoops.
I'm blanking. No. Oh, that's a good one too. But I think early in the year, Arkansas.
Sam Pittman.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Sam Pittman, I think, was probably your early front runner for that. Because I think a lot of times you look at it's not always the best team is the best coach. Because if you look at Georgia, they have the best roster. They should be the best team. But I think with how dominant Georgia's been, and then there's not been a team that's kind of ran with them. Like Arkansas, that front runner, no. Tennessee, Hype. I think a lot of people are impressed with Coach Heupel, but I mean, he's not. Has he done anything to really set himself apart from other coaches in the conference? I don't think so. Mark Stoops, back half of the season's not been as impressive. I think right now everything kind of points to Kirby Smart being the guy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Mark Stoops definitely. You'd have had a debate going on with. I know Georgia got the best of them, but they should beat Kentucky. But they had a chance to be 11-1, and they kind of wasted that away by losing to Mississippi State, and then Tennessee was able to beat them on the road as well. So I think that kind of took himself out of the running. So yeah, Kirby Smart is he's got to be the guy.
He almost effectively took himself out of the running, having a heart attack on the sidelines against Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly.
He's almost completely
and his haircut. I mean, both those guys should be disqualified for their haircut. How about that?
There's not a lot of good, and this is coming from a guy with bad hair. There's not a lot of good hair in the SEC right now.
That's true.
There's not. Jimbo, he wears a hat a lot. I don't know. Does he have good hair?
I don't think so.
Okay. Nick Saban, for a 7-year-old man, has good hair. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
For a 7-year-old man, that you got to keep that in mind. So Tennessee versus South Alabama, though, like I said, this is a game that Tennessee should just flat out win. What's the current spread at?
28.
28.
27, 28. Yeah, it's been something like that.
Someone asked us on Sunday, 27, do you hammer it? I think just hammer it. Let's find out what happens. Tennessee should want to do that. This is kind of a go out there and show what you're really about game. I think it sets the tone. This is your bowl eligibility too.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like when you're talking about, this should be a blowout, that also comes with, is this a trap game? It doesn't feel like a trap game to me because I think there's a lot to play for. Bowl eligibility, number one. Trying to just get over that loss to Georgia. I think this offense is just eager to get back out there and score some points.
And no offense to South Alabama, there's got to be a trap laid for Tennessee to come after. I don't think South Alabama presents that.
No, I don't. I think Tennessee's taking advantage of a lot of poor defenses that they faced, and I think this should be another one of those where you just kind of flex your muscles and put a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think it's a lot about out talenting this team, because it's not like they've not allowed a ton of points or a ton of yards throughout the year. Like they're not an abysmal team for who they are. They're 5-5. Are they Conference USA still? I know there's been so much restructuring. Are they Fun Belt? So I mean, like for who they are, they're not a bad football team, but they're just
Sun Belt. They are
Sun Belt. Okay. So I mean, they're just not, but they're not. I guess the same thing could have been said for FCS Samford last week against Florida. But also Tennessee doesn't have the locker room. They didn't fire a defense coordinator last week. Like Tennessee doesn't have those same kind of issues, like you said, that presents itself in a trap game. Like that's not the case, I think, for this Tennessee team. You mentioned the eagerness to get out there. I think that's got to be the case for this offense that wants to score points. You didn't get to score a ton of points last weekend. I think a lot of guys are going to want to get into the end zone, and I think that's just, no matter how good or bad Tennessee's defense plays, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, and definitely you heard Josh Heupel talk about them preparing, and that was a big thing earlier in the year that he wanted to see improve. I think this is a different week for those younger guys that we're going to talk about here in a little bit to, have to kind of see that opportunity in front of them to get to play. Mm-hmm. And so that they want to bring something extra, that I think that kind of gets contagious. So the starters are just going to want to go out there and make sure that they get in. So I think there's a lot of that too going on. So I don't know if, like you said, South Alabama is not, they just can't hang with Tennessee. I think Tennessee's tempo is going to be a problem for them. They are one of the best rush defenses in the Sun Belt, 119 yards per game, but they haven't went up against a quarterback that can run it like this. We have Jabari Small. I don't think Tyon Evans will probably go this week either. But Tennessee's got some backs that can really run it, and some that they haven't faced so far. So I think Tennessee should have their way with South Alabama pretty easily.
Agreed. All about taking care of business. I know you want to talk about some of the young guys. Hopefully you're getting plenty of seeing plenty of young faces that maybe haven't gotten a ton of playing time this year, maybe none at all, depending on who the guys are. Who's someone that you're kind of hoping to see more of this week? Or
well, before we get into that, I do want to mention kind of South Alabama a little bit. So Jake Bentley went down against Troy, so I think he's questionable this week. He's been limited in practice, so if he doesn't go, it'd be Desmond Trotter, who played against Appalachian State last week and just did not look very good. I think he completed like 55% of his passes, 2 interceptions. So giving Tennessee a short field is definitely not ideal for the Jags at a Mobile. Jalen Tolbert is their kind of go-to guy, their receiver that has over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns so far this season. He's somebody that Tennessee has to account for. Can't have busted coverages, can't just get beat. Somebody that Tennessee desperately needs to just take care of. How about that? Take care of business. Take care of him. He's their best playmaker. Their best cover guy is probably out. Darrell Lutter, he went down against Appalachian State last week. He has 4 picks, 10 pass breakups, and then I think they are the best rush defense in the conference, which makes them one of the best on third down as well. I think they're only giving up like 31% on third down. So Tennessee's going to have to capitalize on third down. Hopefully we don't even get to third down. How about that?
That would be better.
But I think Tennessee will dial up some big plays, especially early. Hopefully put this one away and, like we're about to talk about, get some of these young guys in that haven't had much of an opportunity so far this season.
Yeah, I would. Let's hope.
I want Jake Bentley to play. I know they're a lot better with Jake Bentley, but I think, another thing kind of gets you up for this game is, he beat Tennessee while at South Carolina. So it would be a good kind of, it is South Alabama. It's different. I get it. But it's somebody who, has that under his belt. So, and some of these guys were on that roster at that point. So
Yeah.
Take it to them.
Revenge game. Is that what you're calling? Are you calling it a revenge game?
Is that kind of embarrassing?
Oh, I mean, I don't think it really is. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, sure, we can call it that. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Revenge tour. Maybe just show Byron Young some clips of Jake Bentley throwing all over and running all over Tennessee back in, what was that, 4 years ago?
I guess. I don't know. It's been so long. I have no idea.
He should have been like senior prom, and he was out there beating Tennessee.
Yes. Yeah. That was that story was exhausted during the broadcast. So yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Who are some young guys that you want to see in this game specifically? Hopefully take care of business in the first half, maybe even before the end of the first half. Hopefully see some of these guys on the field early and often.
It's definitely a position that Tennessee struggled with. And that's linebacker. I want to see Aaron Willis, William Mohan get some runs, see what they kind of look like, see if they're able to give Tennessee some depth next year. I just haven't been satisfied with the linebacker play, especially.
Right.
I don't think they've tackled well the past couple weeks, and they haven't been in coverage the majority of the season. So I want to see what those guys kind of look like. Hopefully, they're able to maybe grow and see what happens next year. Maybe trying to earn a starting spot.
Well, and you still hopefully you still have 2 more games after this too. So trying to add some depth even for those. And hopefully kind of you're not just building towards the next season, you're also kind of building towards the last couple of games on your schedule too, hopefully.
Yeah.
One's an SEC game.
I
know it's Vandy, but you can't duplicate SEC experience if you can get those guys rolled in there next week.
100%. And this is a good game where you kind of see, like, do we have enough guys on this roster to not really have to tackle in the transfer portal?
Yeah.
Capable guys, I guess.
Right.
You want serviceable guys, see what you got. So I think those two are big. I think also you got to replace Cade Mays next season. So that's going to be
that was kind of the position group I was going to hit on that I'd like to see a bigger rotation of. Obviously, you want to take care of your quarterback, and you got to think about that. Hopefully, he's not in the game too long. But I'd like to see some more rotation at that offensive line. A lot of the guys that you're going to see on Saturday, you've seen throughout the season, but maybe a heavier rotation. You see them on the field more.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jeremiah Crawford, William Parker Griffin. I'm trying to think of some more younger guys. R.J. Perry's another kind of tackle body that you'd like to see if he can give you some depth. Next year you will have, hopefully, K'Ron Calvert will be healthy. So that'll give you some options at that tackle spot. But I think losing Cade Mays is going to be detriment to this offensive line. So you have to have somebody that can replace him.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part is a lot of your production everywhere is going to have to be replaced, and you're going to have to hit that in the transfer portal because it's not as what we know right now. No offense to those guys, we just don't know if it's behind them or not. We don't know if it's on campus right now.
Right. And I don't know if it's coming out of high school either.
Right. You shouldn't expect it to be a freshman. You shouldn't expect it to.
Yep.
My kind of next one is, and this one I'll hit on a couple of guys, but I think Jalen Wright, you're going to see him plenty. You mentioned Tylen Evans probably doesn't go. If he does, it's going to be very, very limited. Maybe some first quarter carries, and then pads are off for the rest of the game. It's probably just kind of getting him into the flow of things if he's healthy, just to get him ready for next week and potentially the bowl game. Another one I'd like to see more of is Leneath Whitehead. He's had some carries this year. He's had some time. Get him in the game, find out kind of what you have from him. And I think he's going to – it seems to be that he's kind of your next backup after Jabari Small, him or Marcus Pierce, but Pierce hadn't had a ton of carries, and he's a senior. So I think if you can kind of go to that next freshman, redshirt freshman, whatever you want to call him. I guess he is technically a redshirt freshman, so maybe call him by the right thing. But I think you need to see more of him, and I think you'll see a lot of running backs on the field on Saturday.
Yeah, staying with offense, I want to see the Jimmies. Callaway, we haven't really seen him since that Florida drop. Jimmy Holiday's played a lot of special teams, not a lot of offensive snaps. So want to see those guys get in the game. You're definitely going to lose 2 guys that are starting, and Javonte Payton and Velus Jones. Cedric Tillman does have the option to come back, but I mean, the way he's playing right now, I mean, that's no guarantee that he's coming back. So want to see those guys get a little bit more run. You've seen Ramel Keaton, you've seen Jalen Wright a little bit behind those. But I want to see the Jimmies, maybe Walker Merrill thrown in there. See what you have with some of those guys, some of those young receivers.
I'd like to see more of Ramel Keaton if he's truly kind of your next guy up. You saw Javonte go down in the first quarter against Georgia, and he was the next guy there. So let's see more of him if he's going to be – if that's who you go to in big games, I'd like to see more of him.
Yeah, for sure.
I would.
Defensively, Bryson Eason.
Okay, haven't heard that name in a while.
Dude's a load. I want to see him. I don't even know what position he even plays anymore. I think he's along that defensive front somewhere. But he was a linebacker when he came in, but I think he's moved to defensive line. I want to see where he's at. How good does he look? I mean, he played middle linebacker in high school, super athletic. So I want to see kind of him get some run, and maybe he's able to give you some depth at edge rusher or interior line, whatever.
Yep. I'm going to stay defensively. I think rotate some of those defensive backs in that you haven't seen a ton of this year. Kamal Haddon, Christian Charles got a start due to injury against Bama. See some more of him. I think he brings a ton of speed, if nothing else. But you mentioned
he's banged up too, and that's the reason he's probably not starting right now.
And Brandon Turnage, another guy that I thought played well when he's been in the game. I mean, you just got to, which I don't think the secondary is a huge need. It's not. I think they, for the most part, they played okay. Safety positions definitely questionable. But I mean, as far as the guys I've mentioned, besides Christian Charles, mostly playing corner. I mean, it's not like a huge position of need, but you do lose Alontae Taylor. He's a senior. He'll be. I guess he could come back. He's got a super year. But I think there are a lot of guys that seem like they may be capable of it. And I think, this game's all about rotation anyways. And so getting some of those guys some field time and finding out kind of what you got behind your mainstay starters right now.
Yeah, Deshaun Rucker and Tamarion McDonald are two that I'd like to add to that as well. See what they kind of look like, especially at that safety position. I think Rucker's been at corner since he's been here, but I don't know exactly where he ends up. But I think his
speed helps you in the middle of the field more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely, and he can come down and hit somebody. He's not afraid to do that, and I think he gives you some of that speed where I think you're missing that right now in the middle of the field.
Right, I agree. Anybody else you kind of want to hit on that you'd like to see this week?
Miles Campbell at tight end. I'd like to see. I know we haven't utilized them a ton. I guess more than we have in the past couple of years, but I'd like to see what he looks like.
Why did we not use Jacob Warren, who's been probably your best in your pass offense? Why did we not see more of him last week? It seemed like it was all Fant anytime we were thrown to a tight end. Nothing against Fant. I just think Warren's been really good, and we didn't target him.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like, I don't really know what – I'd have to go back and watch what Georgia actually did when he was in the game. But, if we're sitting here saying Jacob Warren is your best threat at tight end, are they covering him up? Yeah.
Fair. I'd like to think hopefully Josh Heupel, though, is able to – I mean, if you're putting more –
dial it up.
If you're putting more over Jacob Warren, that means there's gaps somewhere in the field, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to pull up real quick and see if Jacob Warren had a catch. He did not against Georgia. Princeton Fan only had one. He did have a target in the end zone, I know. I don't remember what quarter it was in.
Wouldn't this be a great game to have a young quarterback?
It'd be a great game to have a young quarterback. I mean, nothing against Harrison Bailey. I wish he had, especially looking at, where the team is and kind of how the transfer portal works. I would have liked to see him stick it out for at least the rest of the season. If he truly just doesn't think this offense is for him and he's not going to be around next season, I guess that's why you leave. But it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to have him right now. Especially last week when Hooker goes out of the game anyways. It would have been nice to have him. So
yeah, Caden Salter is another guy that you'd like to see. This could be a game for him where he got a lot of reps and just couldn't stay out of trouble. I guess we're not going to harp on that too much, but he's not here anymore. But yeah, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, we have basically two quarterbacks.
Pretty much. Yeah, we made the joke about how many Tennessee quarterbacks could could make that $1 million pass last week. I'm like, oh, you only have 2. So,
And technically, I mean, neither one, like, both could end up somewhere else next year. If Joe Milton's not the starter, does he just leave? And what if Hendon Hooker? I don't think Hendon Hooker's going to go in the draft. I just don't see that. I think Richard asked that earlier, especially last week with that defense. You know, they kind of got the best of them a little bit, maybe slowed down some of that Hooker to the NFL talk.
I mean, I think there's a lot. You mentioned Cedric Tillman. I mean, I think, and of course, you know, you may be graded out better than I'm thinking, but I think a lot of these guys can benefit from one more year and kind of really showing some of their skill sets. And Cedric Tillman's obviously shown how he can be utilized, so he's probably more likely than Hooker in my opinion. But I think he's still got a lot to prove. So I don't think it's out of question that he could potentially return.
What about Hooker having 75 more yards last week than he did his first 3 years on campus?
There's a reason Fuente is no longer the coach at Virginia Tech.
No, I'm talking about Tillman. Did I say Hooker?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, Tillman.
That's pretty insane. Pretty insane.
Yeah, it's what a season. Hey, let's get him to 1,000 yards. What's he at?
There's also a reason that the coaches that recruited him are no longer, or recruited him and then coached him are no longer here. So same basis along the line of.
So he needs 275 to get to 1,000. I'd like to see him get that.
He should have
let's give him.
Targets him. He should have 100 this week.
Right. Yeah. He said if he can get another like 150 or 175 in a game, I feel confident. Like including the bowl game, I think he'll get to 1,000.
Agreed.
Run it up.
Let's talk some basketball. Let's move to some basketball. Hey, do you want to? I know you sometimes like to do score predictions. I'm not in that camp. Do you want to do one for this game? I know we said Tennessee covers. Do you got anything else you want to add to that?
I'll go 49 to 13.
More points. I want more points. I want more points from Tennessee.
Okay.
I want your backups.
You want that 50 burger? You want that 52?
I want your backup scoring.
Okay. So we dial it up early. 52. Let's go 52-17. How about that? They get a late touchdown.
52 is fun too.
That's covering.
I need a 50 burger. What did we decide a 60 was?
What did we decide on that?
I don't know. But 50 burgers good, 60 tacos better. I don't know if that's what we decided, but I like tacos a lot, so we're riding with that.
Okay. 60. What did we say? 60. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
All right, let's
60 sandwich.
60 sandwich. All right, I can do sandwich.
There you go.
I like sandwiches.
Thanks, Joe. Joe's got us.
I'll gladly do a sandwich. Let's move to basketball though. Tennessee taking on.
That is question by Justin.
I missed it.
He said, also, which opponent would you like to see Tennessee play in a bowl game?
I like some of the ones that have been projected. NC State was one. I think that'd be a good matchup, fun one for Tennessee. I think last week before the Georgia game, there were some talks of maybe Miami being in that mix. They did lose to FSU this week, so don't know if that changes where they go. They lost to FSU in the dumbest fashion of all time. But I think that'd be a fun matchup. I don't want to play. I guess if it's I'm trying to remember who the Big Ten teams were that we got projected.
Minnesota's one.
Minnesota, and I think I even saw Penn State potentially thrown in there. That'd be Tennessee playing Penn State's fun. I'd be for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think
I saw Kansas State in there.
I think NC State would be a good one for. I don't know if Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee doesn't just outright dominate them. I think, but they've had I think a lot of people have been impressed with some of the games they've won this year. So I'll be for it.
Yeah. So Big Ten, that would be like Music City Bowl. I think the Charlotte game would be like ACC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Texas, I think, would be Big 12. I forget what the Liberty Bowl is.
I'm not sure.
Not sure either. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Tennessee ends up in that. But yeah, I'd like to see some of those. I like the Texas one. I think that would be cool.
I want to go to Memphis.
No.
If is it Young or Little Dolph? Which one?
Young.
Young. If Young Dolph isn't safe in Memphis, who is? The Vols aren't.
Exactly. RP. I'd like to see Texas. I'd like to just see us just absolutely demolish Texas.
And that's in Houston, right? Oh wait, you want to play Texas? So what bowl?
Yeah, like I guess that would be the Texas Bowl.
Would it? And that's in Houston?
Yes.
Okay. Sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Music City Bowl. I just don't like. I guess we've already been there before, so it's not like I just want to go back.
Fair.
But it wouldn't be that bad.
No, I mean it. And Music City. I think. I mean, and all jokes aside, I think Liberty Bowl. Tennessee fans are going to travel to any bowl, but playing in your state, I think, is always good for the brand.
Yeah.
Always good for the brand. Any other football questions?
State recruiting.
Yeah. Oh, you need that. Good Lord. Especially, I mean, the way high school coaches talked about Pruitt in that anonymous poll. You can't recruit better than him in state. What are you doing?
Good God.
It's anonymous. I don't believe any of it.
No, I don't need it.
I love those are my favorite pieces though. That
actually got a lot of in-state recruits.
Yeah, but those are my favorite pieces when coaches get fired. The high school anonymous high school coaches, the anonymous sources inside the program that drop stuff that maybe true, but they're insane.
I love that everything that happened there was a Rush Probst article.
Oh, there's always a Rush Probe. Well, he had a podcast for a while. What's he doing now?
Who knows? I mean, I'll give him that. The guy wins.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it legally, but he wins.
He finds the gray areas is what we call it.
Exactly, yeah.
We know some other guys who are good at finding the gray areas.
He gets caught a lot. He's not great at hiding it.
No. Well, did he get – I think he was just like hitting players at Hoover and then had a second family. Who amongst us doesn't have a second family? You know what they say. If you don't have two families, you don't have one.
Okay, so, yeah, sure.
3 is dangerous territory.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you see Little Nas X on Maury?
I did see that.
So I saw it in a Mexican restaurant and there was no sound. So I was like, what is the context of this?
Were you at a Mexican restaurant in the middle of the day watching Maury? Is it Maury or Maury?
Maury.
I think it's Maury Povich, but I've always heard Maury.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
But anyway, yes, I was. I was in LA, so I wasn't like. It's weird there, okay? You do weird things in LA. But I was like, what's the context? So today when I got home, first thing I did, I had to look it up. I was like, there's no way this is real. It's not real. It was fake.
There's no way. There's no way it's real. Doesn't he have boobs now? Like, didn't he get tits?
No, that's like
maybe
a
that was a Twitter joke. Okay.
Yeah, he acted like
I don't know what's real anymore. I blindly believe anything on the internet. You can fool me with like a blog spot. You send me a link, I believe it.
The corporate phishing emails would definitely get you, Caleb.
Oh, all the time. I am the source of the Russian hack. Well, maybe not the source. I'm how they got in.
Yeah. Patient 0.
Yeah, exactly. You can blame me for COVID. You're welcome. Jeremy Pruitt might still be here according to Vols picks if it wasn't for COVID, so you're welcome.
Oh my God. Did he really say that?
Well, he's blamed the bad year. He blamed the 3-7 on COVID. So yeah, sort of. He may not say that, but yeah. So Vols take on Villanova, 1 p.m. I forgot about that game. I'm going to Asheville on Saturday just for like a day trip. So
get to your brewery, find a TV.
I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to get back in time.
Okay.
She doesn't know that yet. So keep that on the DL. But we're going to go, it turns out we're making an early trip to Asheville. So,
are you going to like the brunch place?
I don't know. This is all I just remembered it was at 1 p.m. So,
well, good luck.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Vols take on Villanova. This is obviously going to be the toughest test Tennessee's played so far. Just been UT Martin and ETSU up to this point. Not the toughest for Villanova. They did play number 2 UCLA. Did drop that game, but I mean I think the good thing, not only for this being a tough test, I think you're going to find out real early about Kennedy Chandler and your other guards. I mean, that's where Villanova is going to prosper on Saturday. So I think you find out real early whether Kennedy Chandler is a real deal or not. He's got a very tough task ahead of him.
Yeah, 100%. Colin Gillespie and Justin Moore are averaging. Gillespie's averaging 17.3 points per game. Justin Moore is averaging 19. So, yeah, it's going to be a huge test for him, I think, offensively and defensively. I think one way I see Tennessee, like, if they dominate this game, it's going to be inside. Because Villanova, they are averaging 0.7 blocks per game. Tennessee's averaging 6.5. They're averaging 29 rebounds per game. Tennessee's averaging 48.5. I know that's a little bit swayed because, Villanova did take on UCLA, but that's like huge. That's like a huge turn. 0.7 blocks per game. That tells me they don't have a true rim protector. I don't know if Tennessee does either, but we're blocking shots somehow, some way.
It helps you've got guys like Josiah. I don't know what he's averaging, but a guy that kind of just gets in the mix and makes plays.
Yeah,
inside,
whether it's everything,
whether it's a steal or a block. And that's where Tennessee help defense. We can get into the debate of how it opens threes up a lot, but Tennessee's help defense definitely provides more opportunities for that. You've had the guy that's also been the eraser down low that's no longer there in Yves Pons. So you don't have, just that flat out shot blocker, but you have a lot of guys that are there to assist, and it helps in adding those blocks per game to your stat sheet.
Yeah, we'll see how improved Olivier Kumwa actually is.
Yeah, got a career game from him on Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll see if he's able to carry that over into this Villanova top 5 matchup. I think this is a huge game for Tennessee, like you mentioned, to see kind of where they're at. Also, it's a March feeling game. These are two teams that want to be in it deep in the NCAA tournament. So, this has got that kind of feel to it a little bit. Villanova's already been tested once. They went to overtime with a really good UCLA team that was a runner-up last season. And Tennessee really hasn't had that first test. So that's going to be a hopefully learning curve a little bit. And, Tennessee has a lot of these guys that haven't really been in that NCAA tournament atmosphere. Kennedy Chandler, Justin Powell, really, he didn't play. He was at Auburn, but he didn't play in the NCAA tournament. The Scovies, a lot of these guys have just been in it one game.
Yeah.
So this will have that kind of feel to it, a little different set of roles for some of these guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be Saturday is going to be a great game. Then you have is it Sunday? Do you turn around and play Sunday? Are they doing it, or is it Monday? Surely they don't. I haven't looked at the schedule. I need to look at it. I need to pull it up. They don't have it listed. That's the big issue. But anyways, turn around and play. So that game's going to be matched up. Then you'll get a Purdue or North Carolina in the next game of the Hall of Fame tournament. So you get two great matchups. You mentioned that that you get that March Madness feeling, that NCAA tournament feeling. It's what Rick Barnes has searched for in these early games, these early tournaments. And you get that this weekend. You're going to play a top 5 team in Villanova, then turn around and play Purdue or North Carolina, who have got good squads.
It'll be Sunday.
Sunday. So you get a very quick turnaround for that.
1 or 3:30.
Gotcha. So it's definitely going to be a good weekend of basketball and Tennessee's. Tennessee's got a great chance to go out and score. I mean, they're not playing just defensive powerhouses, and they've been scoring at faster rates than they have been under Rick Barnes. So they've got a great chance to just go out and put a ton of points on the board this weekend.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of offensive rebounds to get. I mentioned their post play is not probably where Villanova wants it to be, where Jay Wright wants it to be. So I think if they're not having a great shooting night from 3, which if they do, I think they can beat anybody in the country. But if they don't this week, I think there's some offensive rebounds to get, some second chance opportunities.
Absolutely. Who do you want to play on Sunday? So we win. We beat Villanova.
I want to play North Carolina. They're terrible. They're not good.
I mean, who have they played this year? I haven't even looked at theirs.
College of Charleston.
Okay. Don't
I
hate on the
think
Cougars.
They almost got beat.
You sounded like you were hating on the Cougars. I just want to establish that you're not. We love College of Charleston. This is a College of Charleston Stan podcast right here. So
big fans.
huge fans.
They let Brown score 87 points on them. They beat them 87-94. Charleston scored 83 points on them. They beat them 94-83. I think they were actually down at the half. Yeah, they're just not good.
Love it. Go get a dub. Go win the Hall of Fame tournament to kick off the season.
Yep.
Go get it done.
But let's go play Purdue too. They don't have Carson Edwards. They don't have that ref calling a foul in this game. Let's go beat them too.
I still get very upset that people don't think that was a foul in the Virginia. Who'd they play in the title that year? Is that Auburn? Yeah. They didn't think that was a foul on Auburn.
No, it's Texas Tech, right?
No, that was Auburn. That was Auburn, Virginia. Was that in the Final Four? Maybe not the title. I can't remember. But it was a foul. It was an obvious foul.
Yeah. Yeah, the title game, I think, was Texas Tech and Virginia.
Gotcha. Final Four. You get it. Same thing.
You get it.
Anything else for basketball?
Let's Hall of Fame tip-off, Cheez-It, whatever it is. Let's just go win that thing.
Is it sponsored by Cheez-It? You get it?
I think it is.
Okay, perfect. And then Tennessee's got a couple games kind of back to nailing down rotation, nailing down some things to get ready for the season. Then you go to Boulder for Colorado. You get Texas Tech and Madison Square Garden before Memphis and Nashville, and then pretty much SEC play from there on out. So tough schedule ahead of the Vols, but first off, Kennedy Chandler, you think he's been chewed out so far? I'm going for he gets chewed out 3 times this weekend, like where we all feel bad for him.
But I think he also could be on like everybody else's radar.
Oh, if he's not on radar now, he will be, which I think he is. Everybody started to kind of turn head, but if he isn't yet, he will be.
Yeah, those voters that didn't vote him all SEC first team are probably going to be like, "What the? I get paid to do this."
No, they won't say that. They'll defend it somehow.
Oh,
those guys are too prideful.
Yeah,
too prideful. Let's talk some college football.
Let's do it.
Big weekend. Not really. I don't know what we're going with. Big weekend. We'll call it that.
Yeah, there's not a lot that I just love.
I don't know if there's anything I love. Honestly. Like, I don't know if locks are tough, man. The locks
I think this is going to be a big teaser weekend for me.
Yeah, I like that. Tease them all. Alabama first half. Are you going with that? I don't know what it is. They're 20. They were 20 points.
I think it's like 11.5. I'm probably not going to touch that. It's not doing. It's not.
Don't back out now, Landon. Don't get scared.
It's not been well for me. I do kind of like. I kind of like Michigan first half. What's it at? Is it 7?
Michigan, Maryland. Oh, well, before we go away completely from college basketball, can we talk about George Mason beating Maryland the other night?
Kim English.
The ticket had a double-double.
Yeah, and he had some big free throws. I mean, what a revenge game for him.
Oh, yeah. You love it.
What was that game? I forget who we were playing, but yeah, he missed those big free throws at the end that
I can't.
Maybe he could have went into overtime or tied it or something or won the game. I don't know. Yeah, he did it
by 20 points. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, on Duke.
Golly, that's insane. That's another team that Tennessee could end up playing in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your Devontae Gaines.
No, but props to Kim English, man. I mean, we heard that was going to be a big loss, and I hope he's like
half is.
Yeah, I hope he's just building up that resume to come back one day.
Okay, I like that.
Padding those stats.
That keeps him there. Brings him back here, but did like the golf.
I think that was their first win over a ranked opponent.
Ever?
Did I read? Maybe it
There's
was like.
no way.
Dang it! Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'll look it up. There's no way. First win ever. I mean, I don't know how old their program is. It was their first win over Maryland. Is that it?
Oh, that's right. So yeah, Devontae Gaines did miss the free throws in the Bama game in the NCAA or the SEC tournament.
It doesn't say anything about being their first. They did. I mean, they did beat a top 20 team in.
Okay,
so second game.
So it's their first win over a ranked opponent since taking down Kansas State in 2007.
Okay, so very long time.
Yep.
I was about to say, I feel like there's quite a bit of history with George Mason's program, so I'd be surprised if that was it.
As soon as I said it, I was like, man, that does.
That's a little too.
Yeah, but
too
2007. I mean, that's freaking 14 years.
It's a long time.
Crazy.
It's a long.
Good
time.
for Kim English. Yeah, keep building that resume, man. We'll get you back one day. And I think that goes to show maybe like why Tennessee maybe struggled a little bit in recruiting. You know, losing.
Oh yeah, you lost
Kim
a big
English
part of that.
Des Oliver.
Yeah, I think it definitely is it's a part of the equation for sure.
Yep,
for sure. Going back to college football, I guess my first lock. Start with locks. I think I'm going Houston minus 8.5 over Memphis.
Okay.
I think I'm
taking
taking
a lock or is that
it's a lock.
We're
doing lock. We're doing locks. We have to do them. Yeah. It's a requirement, so I'm doing them. And then Michigan State 19. They cover 19.
The only reason why I'm not touching that game is because Michigan State's pass defense is, I mean, it's the worst I've ever seen. It's absolutely terrible.
That's fair. Can't argue with that. 19's a lot of points for a good team.
That's why I teased it up. I already have them in a teaser. I teased that up. I did one of those monsters. So if they get beat by, what's that, 32, I'll take that. I'll take that loss. If you beat a ranked team by 32 points, you deserve to be in the college football playoff. How about that?
Fair. And I'm sticking with a lot of points here. I've got Virginia 14.5 versus Pitt. I just don't see Pitt winning by +2 scores. I don't see it happening.
I like that.
How do we feel about Florida, Missouri? Does Missouri cover 9?
See, I don't know what Florida team you're going to get.
No clue.
I do like Oregon +3.
Okay.
At Utah. I like that. I want to take a money line. But if you don't want to take money line, you just want to take the points +3, do it. But I think I'm going to take money line there.
Does Miami cover -7.5, or does Virginia Tech have an interim game? Or is Fuente still coaching? Surely they mutually parted ways. Surely,
yeah, I think he's done.
I kind of like the Miami. I'm going to put that on the list. We're not taking it yet. Let me think. I'm going to put it on the list.
What about Oklahoma -3.5? They bounce back. They got to bounce back game.
You think they bounce back? I don't know. There's just that if the program wasn't such a mess right now, I would say yes, they have a bounce back game. I'm just not confident that they can rally for it. And it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go money line here. I'm not going to do the points. I'll probably just like put them in like money line and maybe like another, like do a pick 2 and do somebody else's money line to make it around like the same odds.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about I just don't think Baylor just dominated them. I mean, they lost. They lost. I mean, they just sucked. Yeah. So it's not like they just got to play good ball. And I would say it's not a bad football team either. So that hinders me taking that too.
It's just I feel like the Oklahoma, like they always find a way to get in.
The brand does it this week.
Yeah.
Sayfield.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley to LSU.
No, he ain't leaving. Why would
I don't think so either.
Why would you leave? You guaranteed to get in the college football playoff pretty much every year. You're not going to do that at LSU.
If I knew
the defenses that you have,
if I'm Lincoln Riley and I knew Oklahoma was going to be in the West, assuming Oklahoma's going to be in the West. I don't know how they're going to line it. I would go to LSU.
Okay, I forgot that they are coming over. That's right. Yeah, if you're staying in the Big 12, there's no reason to come.
No, not at all. Not at all. I still think it's kind of dumb to go to, but I mean, we talked about it. LSU, in my opinion, is the best college football job in the country.
Yeah.
So I think I'll take it. If I know if I have to know certain things, but I think I'll take it. What about Clemson being favored over Wake Forest? Do you take Wake Forest money line? Do you take them? Do you take the points plus 4.5?
Those two teams are the hardest teams in the entire country to read. So
I think I'll go Wake Forest money line. Sprinkle.
Okay.
I think I'll sprinkle that.
I like that. I kind of like the under.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. 56.5.
It's not a lot, but
No.
I don't see Wake Forest scoring a lot, and Clemson can't score a lot. So.
No. Do you think? Okay, so going back to over unders, and back to the Iowa State Oklahoma game, 60. Do you take the under in that game?
Ooh, I kind of like the over.
You like the over? Oklahoma. Speaking of teams that can't score.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't know, like.
But again, you don't know what Oklahoma team you're getting. They could go out and score 60 by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't trust the Big 12 defense to get that under.
And just so everybody knows, you can get into Mississippi State, Tennessee State for as low as $5 right now. So if you're looking for something to do and start with Mississippi.
There it is. I think Caleb kind of got out of here for a second. Yeah, there's not a lot. Baylor and Kansas State, I think that's going to be a good game. Caleb, you back?
I'm back.
Awesome. Baylor, Kansas State, do you like that one?
Any specific? I feel like Baylor's, speaking of teams that surely you don't have a letdown after Oklahoma. I mean, hopefully you just keep rolling. Kansas State's favorite.
Yeah. -1. We'll see. I think Caleb's having some issues with his audio. Joe, you want to hop in here? We'll start some segments.
Who are you taking in the Baylor Kansas State game? Sorry,
oh, you're good. I want to take Baylor. Kansas State's been a team that I've rode kind of the whole year, but yeah, I just think you kind of roll in this game. I'd like to get Ross Kivitt's take on this one. Joe, what you got? Let's go most important. Not most important. What's trending? Sorry. I still don't know what day it is.
It's close enough. Yeah, that jet lag got to you.
Yeah.
The Lane Kiffin news reports that he would leave Ole Miss for Miami. Seen that all over Twitter lately.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I mean,
did my man like his time in South Florida?
Oh yeah, he loved it. 100%. He'd go back. I mean, he left Tennessee for US. Like that man loves the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, Mississippi is literally the hottest state. It just doesn't have any water to cool you off. So I feel like he's maybe overstayed his welcome in that state. Man, I don't really have. Antonio Brown, my guy. He's just he obtained a fake COVID ID vaccination card to avoid NFL protocols.
I love that.
We can't be surprised.
The man wants to play ball. Can you hate him for it?
Commitment, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he was so mad about a helmet that he went and burnt his feet off in a chamber, like a ice chamber. So I mean, yeah, you can't be surprised. I mean,
sue him. The man wants to play ball.
I can't believe it took him this long to actually find that out.
Have you seen like the what was it, the super bad edit where he's trying to use McLovin's ID for ID?
I make love it. I love that the only two options in that movie were they're going to give him McLovin or Muhammad.
It's the most common name.
That's a great movie.
I haven't been online, so I'm trying to find some. What's been trending this week. I don't know. Y'all have got to tell me. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, I've kind of been out of the loop too a little bit. Other than Vanderbilt just not being able to score points in basketball with the SEC preseason Player of the Year.
Yeah.
What were they going? How many games did they go without a three a couple years ago?
Oh, like 3.
No, they went more than that, didn't they?
Oh, really?
I thought it was a record.
God. They're just bad.
You talking about where the fans were like in the stands cheering for the record or something like that?
Oh yeah, they were like, "Don't shoot a 3."
Yeah, I remember that. I just can't remember what it was. It was something actually ridiculous. That was like,
it was like 19. It was awful. I'm gonna figure it out real quick.
I thought it might have been like 3-point attempts without making them or something.
No. Oh, sorry. They had a 34-year streak where they hit a 3-point in every game, and they went 0 for 25 one night.
That's what it was. I just remember that was like such a funny Twitter video because they were just the fans were all going ape for like them to not score.
Well, dang, the Lady Vols did that the other night, didn't they? They didn't go 0 for 25. I think they went 0 for 13. But
I like my story better about them not hitting one in like 19 games. They did something though for like 19 games where it was an absurd amount of time to go without something, and they did.
I thought was it without a win?
I was gonna say it's probably win.
It may, I mean that yes. Didn't they go a whole season without a win in the SEC a couple years ago, or did Jerry Stackhouse get them one?
I don't know. There's a bad basketball team.
Oh,
really bad.
Oh yeah, but hey, they got the SEC Player of the Year on their team.
Yeah.
See about that.
Any more what's trending?
No, that's
Bryce Harper won MVP.
Yeah.
NL MVP.
And then Shohei Ohtani for
Ohtani won. Yeah, let's go.
Did you have money on it?
Oh, $50, boy.
Heck yeah.
Putting in
What'd
that future.
Where'd you catch that at?
Like at the beginning of the season, he threw he hit a home run, and I think he I gave up like a couple, like 2 hits, and I was like, dude, he's winning MVP. And so I
it's a great call.
I put 20 on it. 25.
Oh, okay.
I think it was plus 200, so I put 25.
So you made 50. Okay. I was gonna say if you put 50 on it, depending on when you got that, that was probably a pretty nice payout.
Yeah.
Oh, Topgolf's coming to Knoxville.
Yep.
More traffic in Turkey Creek. Can't wait.
It's been coming to Knoxville for 4 years.
They announced they wanted. I think they officially closed on a site though. I don't think the site was announced. Yeah, so I think that's why the official announcement rolled out. But yes,
they've got the frame up. I've driven past it. They've got
the
the frame of the bays and the floors and stuff that you can kind of tell it's starting to come together. It's just
they
halted it because of COVID or something, whatever it was. But
okay,
I think they've officially announced that they're back on the move, and who knows if it'll ever finish building. But
Skid Row is what it is. It's disgusting. I saw a homeless guy literally take a shit in the middle of the street.
LA.
That man was a full-on squatty potty in the middle of LA.
I guess I've never thought about
Was he shitting on something, or was he I need to take a dump?
He was shitting in the middle of the road.
But was he hey, this is your business, this coffee shop didn't give me anything, I'm gonna shit outside of it? Or was he just I gotta poop?
He was squatting like a catcher. I was like, is he shitting? And we drove past him, and we saw the patty underneath him.
Oh, it was a patty too. Dang.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't even have any toilet paper.
No.
Poor
I never really
guy.
thought about that though, but I mean, it's probably pretty common amongst like large homeless crowds. That just
You should have gave him $1 and been like, this is the wipe.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like, you can't like pick an alley. Like, you gotta go right here.
Gotta go. I mean, what do you?
Yeah,
what do you
like,
do?
it's worth like risking your life over.
I mean, listen, I'm for it. I'm for it.
Yes.
Dude, so do y'all remember that video that Florida came out with when they had college game day for basketball or whatever they call it, college basketball? They did I can't remember what song it was, but they did a coordinated dance. All the students did. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
They released a TikTok. I don't know what class this is at Florida. It's just as cringeworthy. I don't know what it is about Florida and doing these terrible coordinated dances.
Oh yeah, Anthony Richardson
saw
did it.
Like, I don't know what. That's bad.
it's awful.
Bad.
God. Is that a stupidity?
That's a stupidity. I've got one more. Also, kind of a stupidity. Have you all ever heard of Finnish baseball? I don't know. It's Finland's version of baseball. The Finnish. Have you heard of their style of baseball?
I have not. No.
If you haven't, look it up. It's insane. So apparently, in like 1900s, early 1900s, like 1904, some guy from Finland came to the United States, saw baseball, took it back to Finland, but he obviously could not remember the rules, and he drew up the most absurd, like, baseball version of baseball. They play it to this day. They love it. It's like a big sport in Finland. I'm gonna
Pesapalo. That's what it's called.
Yeah. That sounds like a good enunciation. I don't know. But I'm going to try to like find their field outline and show it to you all because it's insane. Like first base is like down the third base line. And then second base goes back to first base.
I don't know if you can see it.
It looks like a home plate. It looks like you saw a home plate and was like, that's the outline of the field. I figured it out. I'm trying to find like a good. Okay, let me see if I can get this up. I mean, we can call it a stupidity, but if they love the game, good for them.
Oh, snazzy.
Oh, well, you're not able to see this. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. It's absurd. I feel like you would love this, Landon. I feel like you would love the sport. So first base is right here where the mouse is at. Home plate. The pitcher stands next to home plate. You know how like when you throw it up
Like
yourself and you hit it?
Soft toss.
That's what the pitcher does.
Oh heck yeah!
And then you run to first.
That'd be the hardest part. The hardest part would be actually playing baseball and then trying to play this and run the opposite direction to first base.
I just don't understand why the catcher's here. And then their shortstops are out in the catcher's right here. Shortstops are out beyond the baseline. It's absurd. I don't know. I want to watch a game and try to understand it.
When are the sports books going to pick up on it? Because that looks extremely fun to bet on.
I would love
There's got to be 1 billion home runs.
I don't know if there's any. Look how long the field is. Like the outfield is humongous. It goes all the way up here. Here's a better outline. Look at the field compared to the MLB field.
Oh God.
Wait,
I don't think there's any home runs.
That can't
Dude,
be
if
like
you hit one in a gap, you're running forever.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any home runs.
Oh.
Yeah, I learned about that today, and I was fascinated.
I'm so curious. I want to watch that now.
I watched like one video, and it was just like a hit play, so I didn't understand it. I need to surely there's a video someone explain it out there. I hope. But my real stupidity, the one I laughed about did you all see the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case explaining how he saves text messages?
No.
I didn't see that one, but I've seen so many random explanations from him that are just such like a cluster.
Yeah, he's got to be like that crazy uncle. Everyone's like, can someone stop him talking? He was like, when I save text messages from people, I screenshot them. I don't know if he knows they save in his phone. He'll screenshot them and then email them to himself. And that's how he keeps text messages.
With every text message, that's what he does?
Everyone that he wants to save, I guess. And then he was talking about how like when
many
he
do you
emails it.
have?
I know. He said, I guess he screen records them. I don't know. He said, I don't know what he does. The picture he had was like 4 cell phone worths of length of text messages. And he's like, and I can't read them when I get them. Like, this man's insane. How has no one corrected him is my question.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe somebody will fix it now that he's been on national television explaining that. I was blown away by that one. And I just watched him explain it. I need to find the video I found. I watched him explain it 20 times. And it was awesome. I loved it. Very old man move. Very old man.
I love old man moves. This is another old man move. Doug Martin, the New Mexico State head coach, said, I think it's safe. This is what he said before the Alabama game. I think it's safe to say that they aren't the same Alabama anymore. If it wasn't for the logo, they wouldn't even be in the top 10.
He said that before or after the game?
Before.
Will they get be like 52-3?
Yeah, something like that.
This is.
Well, we know.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
We know who he voted for in the coach. We know who has Alabama out of the top 10. The coach just pulled out.
Exactly.
No hiding it.
Right.
I was going to say that E.J. Liddell for Ohio State has 7 blocks already against Xavier through a little more than a half and a half. A little less than half and a half. If that makes sense. 14 minutes left in the second half. He's got 7 blocks.
Let's stop shooting around that guy.
No, they're losing. They should be right.
They almost lost the other night. Who they almost lost to?
They've had
one free
close
throws
games against some pretty bad teams. And I've got Xavier -2.5, so keep losing.
Dang it! I picked
7
Ohio
blocks.
State.
Ridiculous.
I think I have one more. Yeah, Danny Cannell, our guy. He says Mississippi State 6-4 is ranked over Clemson, who is 7-3 with all 3 losses coming to top 25 teams, and definitely did not lose to Memphis. This committee and this process prove itself over and over to be the absolute worst way to determine a champ. Hashtag incompetent. Number one, neither one of those teams are going to win a championship at all.
Not even come close to it.
Yeah, not even close. Number two, Clemson is terrible. They're out of the top 10 because of what they have on that roster and the way that they played the season.
Yeah, they're awful.
They stink.
Also, like, did he not know, like, Mississippi State should have won that Memphis game, but official blew that call?
Yeah. Which I guess, is that what he meant by they didn't lose to Memphis? I do just want to say they lost to Memphis.
No, he was saying Clemson did not lose.
Oh, Clemson. Sorry. So that's what he's saying about Mississippi State. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I thought, okay.
He hates the SEC so bad because they're so much better than the Big 12 or the Big 10.
I don't even know who Danny Cannell is. I never will. Ever.
I got another one that's hilarious. So this guy tweeted, this is a Vol Twitter guy. His name's Sean. He's a good guy, but this is a funny tweet. So one guy said, if you never want to talk to someone again, loan them some money. And this guy said, I've got a pocket full of penis, and I'm not afraid to use them. He meant to say pocket full of pennies. Screenshots last forever. Sorry,
yeah.
Sean.
That's awful.
That's awful.
Oh.
My stupidity is going to have to be myself. It seems to be this common case, but I booked my flight for like smack dab middle of the Tennessee basketball game on Saturday, which was just such an L because I always try to be like, oh, like I won't find the score out and like I'll watch it. And that's not going to work. Like,
don't pay for the Wi-Fi either.
No,
yeah. It's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work.
American and it literally never works. So.
No. I paid like $20 for Wi-Fi on a Delta one time. Couldn't even load a tweet.
Yeah, it's really. We need to look into that because it's never worked for me. I think it's just to keep the cam.
Conspiracy theory. I'm in on that one.
Nobody ever mentions anything about it. It's just like, oh, it must not work this flight, but it never worked. So I don't.
I had a fight with the Little Rock basketball team last night. or I guess early this morning, and like it took them forever to get on the plane. Like they were literally like putting their stuff up, unzipping stuff, getting stuff out. One guy like pulled his mask down, took a drink. Like everybody's like waiting on him to sit down. They were just taking forever.
The worst.
The flight attendants kept having to tell them to like pull your mask up, blah blah blah. Coaches never said a word at all, which that's a fail in itself. But I was like, dude, like, why are they so slow? So I looked it up. They got beat by 20 that night.
They're just down bad.
Yeah,
They're in
it was
no
a
hurry.
rough night. I was like, I get it. You're about to make me miss my connection flight, but I get it. Guys, that's all I got.
That's it for me.
Same here.
Love it. We'll be back Sunday night. Talk about
Three
Vols wins. Sorry.
Yeah.
3 Vols wins.
Oh, Lady Vols. Soccer?
Soccer, they do play this weekend, tomorrow in Ann Arbor, I think.
Okay.
They play Washington State.
Okay. Mike Leach.
Yeah.
JG. They play JG. He's on the
A
team.
lot of interceptions in that game. Oh, Lady Vols, before I forget, they made it onto the Mossed episode on Monday or last Monday.
Yeah, you got Moss?
After the SEC, they made it on You Got Mossed.
That's
It was a
awesome.
great play, too. Worth it.
Don't get mossed, especially in soccer. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back Sunday night. We'll be feeling good then.
Oh, yeah.
We're bringing the boat in.